This video is for my YouTube friend, Kevin, who had sent me a video asking me some questions about writing and my background and things. So this is me answering those questions. Kevin asked if I use a pen or do I write on my computer. And mostly I write on my computer. I used to carry a bag full of notebooks with me everywhere I went, and those notebooks, I had a specific notebook for each novel I was working on. I'd like to get back into that habit because there's just a lot of times that I have ideas, when I'm waiting for my kids to get done with soccer practice, or sitting in the grocery store parking lot, or things like that. I don't have a particular favorite notebook. Ones I usually use, I get those small ones from like the dollar store. They're, kind of thin and small, and so they travel well, and that's why I have so many. Then I can use them for each separate book I'm working on, because it's not that much to carry around with. I've enjoyed writing since I was a child. I remember the first poem I ever wrote. I was like in kindergarten, I think. And from there, I just kind of dabbled with creative writing stuff, little stories, poems. When I got into high school, I dabbled more in songwriting and poetry. In college, a bit of that also. I was also, I wrote for just a couple times. Now, don't get me wrong, I wasn't like an editor or anything for the newspaper, but I wrote for the newspaper, I think, once or twice, and then for the yearbook in college. I actually wanted to be a journalist when I was in college, and then I just, how college students kind of just forget what their goals are and drink too much beer and drop out of school and get jobs. Well, that's what I did. I did end up going back and getting my degree, my bachelor's degree. I didn't really start writing novels until my mother-in-law passed away. I have a video that I did a while back, and I can link to that as well, that just kind of says why I started writing the novels. That was back in 2002. I didn't really finish anything or try and get anything published until 2007, when I entered that first novel I wrote in the Amazon Breakthrough Novel Award Contest. That novel hasn't really gone anywhere. Never 18 was, I wrote this superhero series first, and then in November of 2008, I wrote Mending Fences, which became Never 18. During NaNoWriMo. Tips and tricks. I'm kind of like a chaotic writer. I guess they call us pantsers. I hadn't heard that expression until very recently, but I guess it's like writing by the seat of our pants, where I really never have a direction. When I sit down to write fiction, I normally will have a beginning, a first paragraph, maybe even a first chapter planned out in my head. And I usually have an ending planned out, and then I kind of just sit down and write and figure out what comes between. I usually will write all the way through, not stopping, not editing, and then go back and edit and flesh out the novel. I like to call it organized chaos. That's how I write. And the organization part is all up here. I don't outline. I will occasionally, if I get stuck, write some notes, maybe make, a point A and a point Z, and then make a few points in between and try and figure out how to get to those points. When I also am blocked, I like to go outside and take a walk, because the fresh air usually offers me some clarity. I also usually get some crazy writing stuff in my head that I'll go and write when I get back. Just some random thoughts or poetry. You wanted to know what I did before ABNA, before writing. I was a mom, basically. I stayed home with my kids and raised them. And I ran a daycare. I had a lot of jobs. I wasn't really one to stick with anything for very long. The longest job I think I had was the daycare, which was like 3 years. I know, it's pathetic. So that's it. If you have any more questions, feel free to email me or send me a video again or whatever. Oh, I did get a P.O. box. This is my P.O. box. It is 2661 North Pearl Street, number 393, Tacoma, Washington 98407. That is where my post office box is. So feel free to write me there. I would probably love to get a piece of fan mail. I've never gotten one. I mean, I've gotten emails, but a real letter, that would be fun. That is all. Thank you for your questions, Kevin, and I will see you on YouTube.